I started sharing my journey and this journey that I take women that I help make millions of dollars in their business in one-on-one coaching. This weekend I started sharing those steps and where this whole process came from. It used to be kind of that I only shared with my VIP Million Dollar Maker clients. Where this process came from is from myself, trying it on myself first. And I was more than $500,000 in debt. I couldn't feed my son. I was losing my house. I was in a bad marriage. This was just a few years ago. And despite working 3 jobs, 3 pretty high paying jobs, I had such a lack-based focused mindset and just a way of being, feeling literally, I told myself every day I'm such a loser. And what do you think you get when you tell yourself that? But during that time, I decided to go on a suicide walk and I went out to plan my suicide. And I was trying to plan how I could do this without harming my young son, who I also couldn't feed. I was having a hard time. I was splitting food up so he could eat. And during that walk, I encountered a miracle, an actual spiritual miracle, and it changed my mind. It made me lose my mind for a minute, and then it changed. And after that, I went and started studying. This is the short version of how women in particular become successful. Started studying role models of people who had later in life, which I thought of myself at that time, a little bit older, as mature people had succeeded. And I came up with this 5-step process for myself. And over the weekend, I shared step 1, which is define your lifestyle. And I talked about that. I'm not going to go into it really deeply today because I'm going to go into step 2. You can go watch the other video or you can have a meeting with me and I'll be glad to help you understand steps much better and help you plan for yourself. Anyway, step 1 is basically defining your lifestyle because women really need to run our businesses from the basis of family relationships and how we want to live, or else we get overwhelmed and stress and we don't want to grow and things like that. So that's number 1. Now I'm in step number 2. And what we're going to think about for this, the rest of the time that I give you these steps, is like going on a trip, a long trip. Say you're in Florida and you live in the United States and you want to drive to California. And so when you're leaving from Florida, it's a long drive. It's across the United States. And I don't think anybody in their right mind, especially if children in the car, any woman is going to plan, let's drive this all in one day. So what would you do? You would look at this as a journey, knowing that you were heading to California and you'd have an address in California of where you were going to go, and you would back out of the driveway in Florida knowing that you were going to take some stops along the way. And so those stops along the way, most of your focus while you're driving in Florida is going to be on the first stop, right? So if you're stopping in, let's say, North Carolina, and you're going to spend the night in North Carolina, or you're going up through Louisiana, however, let's just say North Carolina for argument's sake, you're going to be thinking about the place that you are going to rent a hotel or an Airbnb, whatever you do. If you've already set it up, you're going to be thinking about what restaurants are there, how you're going to settle in for the night. Most of your focus is on that part of the journey. And so step 2 is reflective of that. And all of the rest of these steps that I'm going to give you, you're always going to know your final destination, your address of having $1 million in your business or $1 billion in your business or whatever that is that you set up. Your lifestyle plan should delineate, should be dedicated to, now you're trying to plan in to get the lifestyle. How much money do I need? How much do I need to feel greatness and be able to do what I want to help the charities and things like that? So you know your final destination. You're stopping the first stop along the way. I would recommend, if you're on $1 million journey, make that $20,000 a month. So what you're going to do, and this is going to be the hardest part of this journey for you, because all of your shit is going to come in front of you. You're going to have to deal with what's inside out, right? Because we are not going to get to where we want to go if we don't change who we are and how we think about things. That's the reason we've been getting what we've been getting for so many years, all right? So this first stop, this $20,000 stop, is where all of your focus is. So you're focused on the increment of the income that you're going to build from wherever you are, maybe $6,000 a month to whatever, but you're going to go in increments, and you're going to change your inside. You're going to get really reflective and really looking at where do you have points of resistance, what is your mindset about money. This is when you're going to come full on with your lack-based thinking, and you're going to have the opportunity to clean that and look at changing your thinking to abundance thinking. And I'm going to tell you, step 2 is going to take probably the longest of any, because you've got so much to do. Car is driving at 30 miles an hour. You've got a governor on this thing. So take the time. Now you know your lifestyle, and you're excited. You should be able to look at that every morning and every night, just a summary of it at least. You know where you're going to go. That's exciting to you. And now you're on the first part of the journey, and you're focused on that first 20,000 or whatever that first increment is, and you're dealing with yourself to be able to get there, to change your mindset, to get the income, the sales processes going that go well for you, to find the leads, all of that stuff that maybe you haven't done before. And this is why a coach is really great for this process, because you are not going to get anywhere if you don't change inside out for that first part of the journey. The car needs a tune-up. So I would work on that with you. But if you're going to do it yourself, step 2, when you're going from where you start out in Florida, where you start driving from where you are now and however much income, however big your business is, to your first stop, you're going to focus your attention there and do the work inside and externally to get there. This is going to be maybe for some of you a new thing, because maybe you've always been looking externally toward the strategies and toward your mindset might be off, but you think if you do enough of the other stuff, it's going to override it. You've got to get your mindset right, and then the strategy comes. So this is what really happens in step 2, and I would so recommend that you get some help. But I want you to know that this was the second step of my process, and I am now on the other side of all that debt. I have 3 very successful businesses. I get to coach women to their success. I do it very successfully, and I know this process very well. So I wanted to get this out in the public and not have it secret anymore. There is a short little ebook coming out about this that you could get from me as well to read it. But I'm very glad to meet with you and take you through this process and or coach you so that you do this quickly, because the second step is the kicker. And I want you will succeed. You've got this. You're on a trajectory. You wouldn't be listening to this video this far along if you weren't. I'm Paula Boland. I'm a master business and mindset coach. I'm going to put my information to set an appointment with me. I also have a couple of coming up. One, which is 10X Your Super Life, which helps you plan your living style, and then Prosper Your Business to Millions, which helps you through this process and figure that all out in just 6 weeks. So I'll put the link for that. I think I'll put that first in here, and you can check that out. And then if you want to have an appointment with me, I'll have that in here as well. We'll talk soon. Go work on your first and second step. Now you know them. Take care.